Morning, guys. Just give me a few minutes. Trying to figure this out, guys. Hold on. Well, I was going to share it. I don't know how to share it. Hey, Brother Don. Praying for your son. Well, usually it gives me the option to share, but I don't know how to do that to make it share. So if you can share it, guys, please do. I'll get started here in a minute. I'm learning this new system, so haha. If you can share it, guys, I don't know how to share this. It usually gives me the option when I get started to share it to all the groups I'm in. Or maybe I'm blocked from the groups right now. Yesterday I shared my great news to too many people and they said it might look like spam. So that may have kept me from being able to share this morning to other groups. So just bear with me. I know I had a couple people that wanted to join me this morning. Hey, Miss Crystal, or Kristen. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, guys. I apologize. I've lost them again. I haven't really lost them. They're in my bedroom next to my nightstand, and my husband borrows my glasses. That's the problem. I don't lose them. My husband loses them on me. They're just reading glasses. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. Who I thought was going to join us didn't join us. But that's okay. They're probably pretty easy. Alright, guys. Great news. I'm just released my Kindle version of my second edition of my first book, They Meant It for Evil. The cover looks a little different, but still looks the same in a sense. Hold on. I thought I had a copy of my book in my car. Well, I did. My daughter must have took it yesterday. Well, I was going to show you a copy of it. Anyways, it's about my story growing up in foster care and the challenges I had to overcome is my first book. Now, the paper book that I will be releasing here in a couple days is going to be my first and second book combined. So, it'll be They Meant It for Evil, and then you'll have a space, and then my second book will be in the second edition book. But God meant it for good. Okay, so look for, if you buy the Kindle right now for the next 7 days, I believe it's free for if you don't have the Kindle Unlimited and you sign up for the Kindle Unlimited. But if you don't have the Kindle Unlimited, and I believe if you want to purchase it, if I did it right, now I'm new at this system, so if I did it right, you're supposed to be able to get the book for 99 cents. If I did it right, okay? I don't know. Like I said, this is new. I tried to figure it out on my own. So if I did it wrong, I apologize, but it's supposed to be 99 cents for the next 7 days. Now, if you sign up and get the Kindle, you can also share it with families and friends. I made sure to click on it, ask me if I wanted to let whoever purchased the Kindle share it with other Kindle users. And I said yes. I want my story out there. I want to encourage others who have gone through what I've gone through to know how to overcome, how to, I believe God teaches us, if we're overcomers, to teach others how to overcome. So if you are struggling and you don't know how to get through the next day, I encourage you to read that book, but I also encourage you to read it with a friend or somebody who can help you process, especially if you come from a background of abuse. It can be traumatizing to read a book like that. I was also talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were brainstorming on what we can do to make a difference. We were talking about, and this is the interesting part, and when she said this to me, I didn't realize how easy it was for them to get prayer out of schools. It was a one-woman show that got prayers out of school. There was no protest. There were no large groups of people getting together and trying to fight a system. No, one woman got prayers out of public schools. So if one woman can get prayer out of school, what can a bunch of us do to help get CPS under accountability? So we were brainstorming the other day, and we were like, well, what if, because I've encouraged grandparents to do this the second that CPS steps into families' lives, to immediately sign up, because you can become a foster parent within a matter of weeks. Literally, a matter of weeks, they can get you registered as a foster parent. So why don't we as Americans be proactive, right? They want all these, not saying that you have to take foster kids in, but go ahead, grandparents, aunts and uncles, moms and dads, sign up to be foster parents, okay? Not necessarily that you're going to take in foster kids. I mean, you can if you want to, but my saying, why don't we be proactive? Because we've got so many grandparents that are not allowed to have their grandkids when CPS comes in and takes them. Why? Well, they're not foster parents. They're not been registered. They have to do background checks. You know what? Let's be proactive then. Let's go ahead and sign up. Go ahead and get all that paperwork done. That way, if CPS comes into your lives, you're already prepared. When they step in and say, well, we're going to take the kids. No, you're not. My grandmother is a foster registered person, and she will come and get them. And there's nothing they can do. Literally, she's a foster parent. So she's already qualified to have children in her home. And so there ends that argument. These grandparents that aren't getting their grandkids because they don't want to do the work to get them registered, and they just want the money to put them into foster care. Well, get registered then. Go ahead and take the foster classes. Be registered as a foster parent. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to take kids in your home, but be proactive. Why not be proactive? Why don't we think above them? Why don't we be a step ahead of them? And I've encouraged grandparents to go ahead and do the fostering. Go ahead and start the fostering programs. Why? Because if you pass the fostering programs, there's nothing absolutely they can do to keep your grandchildren from being removed from another foster home and put into your home. And so the argument there is gone. So, I mean, it's just an idea, guys. What do you think? I think it's a great idea. I think we need to be proactive. I think we need to, get in there and say, look, enough is enough. We're going to register and be prepared for the worst until we can get a task force that's going to hold CPS accountable and checks and balances. And it's not just, okay, I say CPS, but you understand CPS is a contract. They are not government, okay? They are a government contract, yes, but they do not hold a legal, half the stuff they do, probably half of it is illegal. One, it's against your constitutional rights, okay? And I tell parents, when they show up at your doorstep, okay? And they bring the police, okay, because they know there's going to be a problem. But the thing is, and I have a big old sign on my house, okay? When you walk up to my house, my neighbors have come and checked out my sign, okay? It says, my home, my children, no warrant, CPS are not welcome. Why? Because I anticipate me going on Facebook, me doing things like this, they're going to try to retaliate against me, okay? Absolutely. Be the best foster parent. And we need good foster parents. That's just it. And, you know how hard it is. Sometimes I've talked to foster parents and they have to fight with CPS because CPS is doing wrong. Absolutely doing wrong. And are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then these good foster parents are like, you're not doing your job. You're just not doing your job. And they get mad and they try to take the foster parents' licensing. Well, I spoke to a foster parent the other day, and she said that they've been trying to take her foster licensing for 5 years. Why? Because she causes problems for them. Enough of us cause enough stink. We may get the senator's attentions. We may get the governor's attention. Even though they say they have nothing to do with CPS, they're right. The thing is, CPS is just a contract. The judges are just administrators. They're not really judges. I mean, yes, they're standing before a judge, but they're in the role of an administrator. In other words, like a mediator. Okay, they make the final decision. Okay, they're not really in a legal capacity. Yes, you have lawyers, you have judges, and that's what's so confusing to people. Okay, is they think that they're doing right, and they're not. And you can actually file charges against judges and lawyers and CPS workers, and people don't know that. See, knowledge is power, people. If we tell enough people the secrets of CPS and what they are and are not allowed to do, and we start telling them, you're not allowed to do that, and say, oh, no, you don't, okay? And they do. They scare the crap out of me, guys. Dealing with CPS, they scare me, okay? They really do, okay? But that's their whole goal, is to intimidate, okay? They do. They profit from taking children away. And that's why we need to stop allowing them in our homes, okay? We need to put in when you go to the school, if you have children in public school, you write down that no one is allowed to see your child without permission. Nobody. No advocates. Because they have people that come in to eat lunch with children and stuff like that, right? I put in there, nobody is to come and see and visit my child at school. Why? Because I don't know who's going to visit my child at school. It could be somebody who, a DFS worker or a counselor or somebody who says, I think you need to go talk to that little girl. Who knows what they're going to plant in their little heads? And so I even told my daughter, anybody comes to the school and says they want to talk to you, you say, not without my mommy. Not without my mommy. Why? Because she is not to talk to anybody without me being present. She's 6 years old. Okay? This people going and eating lunches with kiddos and stuff like that, and allowing them to do that, put a stop to it now, guys, because you're just allowing CPS to come in there, talk to your children, and then get them to say one or two words that are concerning and have them remove the children from school. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, you do not want that to happen. So you make sure that the school knows nobody is to pull your children out of school. Nobody is to talk to your child during lunch or visit them without your permission or without your presence. Okay, and if they do, you have a huge lawsuit against that school. Because CPS what they do is and they've done this many times, and I've been working with a young man who wants to sue CPS. He's waiting until he turns 18 to do so. But they came in, and instead of going to the mom's house to take the children, they went in over the announcement, pretended to be an aunt, a family member, okay? Come to the office, your aunt so-and-so is here to see you, over the speakerphone, okay? So him and his brother came to the office, and it wasn't his aunt. And they're like, hey, would you like to go to Taco Bell? Well, yeah, what kid doesn't like to go to Taco Bell, right? So they didn't remove the child from the school based on DFS removing them from the home there. What they put down on the paperwork was taking them out to lunch, okay? And they removed them from the property to take them out to lunch, yet nobody's given them permission, okay? They think because they're DFS they can do that. No, they can't, okay? But the mom didn't know that she could request that nobody gets to visit her kids without her permission. She didn't even know they were at the school. She didn't even know they removed them from the school grounds, okay? They removed them from the school grounds under the guise of, we're taking you out to eat to Taco Bell. And they did. They took them out to eat to Taco Bell, and then they split them up at Taco Bell and started grilling them about different things until they said 2 words that was concerning and then took them into custody. That was manipulation. That was manipulating a child of 10 years old. That was manipulating a child, and it's not legal. What they did was not legal, okay? And they can actually hold the school accountable. But the school's attitude is, well, we didn't know they were going to take the children. We were told that they were just taking them to lunch, okay? So you make sure you go to your school, if your kids are attending public school, that you put in there to that school that if anybody talks to your children without your permission, and even the counselor people at school, and I tell my daughter, and if you need a counselor, you come to mommy, and I will make sure you go get a counselor. You don't talk to the one at school, because they will manipulate, put words and thoughts in your kids' heads that aren't supposed to be there, and you don't allow anybody to come visit your kid at school, okay? You make sure to put that in writing and let the school know. If they do, they will be looking at a lawsuit, okay? Let the school know nobody is to talk to your children, okay? And if they can't honor that and respect that, then you better find another school or start homeschooling people, okay? So we need to be proactive. Make sure you're proactive. And tell your children, do not talk to anybody. Zip it. Don't talk to nobody. If I'm not there, say, I don't talk to nobody unless my mommy's here. I don't care. They're 5 or 6 years old. I don't talk to nobody unless my mommy's here. Have them practice it. What do you say if somebody comes to pull you out of the classroom to talk to you? I'm not going to talk to you unless my mommy's here. And sit down. Okay? They have the right to say, I'm not going to talk to you unless my mommy's here. Teach them that, okay? You've got to teach your children that, because they are manipulating our children. And they're getting them to say caution, concerned words, okay? Which is, you know, my mommy yelled at me. My mommy disciplined me. Well, they don't know the word discipline, but, you know, if you believe in spanking or you believe in, you know, consequences, they may strew something your kid says. Okay, so don't allow them to go to your school. You make that very clear, okay? And you let them know that you will take them to court and you will make sure that they are punished, okay? Other thing is when they show up your doorstep, a lot of people don't know this. They think, well, I have nothing to hide. I'm just going to invite them in, okay? No, 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 okay? Because here's the thing. The second they step over your house threshold, case is open, okay? If they cannot get their foot in the door without a warrant, and I put on my door, my home, my children, no warrant, no CPS welcome. Why? Without that warrant, a police officer, nobody can enter my home. Nobody. And that's why they bring the police, because they think they can scare you into letting them in. You don't have to let them in. Parents don't know that. They think, well, they showed up with the police. So? Even the police don't know this. A lot of the police officers I talk to, they're like, we were called to come out. We're just doing what we were asked to do. Okay, but how would you feel if they came in and took your children? Well, I wouldn't want that. Okay, then. You're not welcome in my home. Plain and simple. If they don't have a warrant and they're concerned about the safety of my children, here they are. They look great. They look fine. Go back inside the house. If you have any concerns or issues, you know, tell me what they are. Well, we can't inform you of that. Okay, then we don't have anything to talk about. Get off my property. Okay, you're trespassing. They are not allowed in your home. Just because they have an accusation against you, they have to have proof. And the only way that they can get proof is to come into your home and then they go, oh, there's trash on the floor. There's a dirty dish in the sink. If they want your kids, they'll find a reason to take your children. Okay, so don't give them that right, that opportunity to come into your home. Okay, do not give them that right. Okay, but the second you allow them into your home, you have given them the right to look around your home and get their nose into your business. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. And I'm going to, in the next couple days, I'm going to order some of those signs. If you guys want one, I'll try to order them real cheap. I'll just sell them to you at what I have to pay for them. But meanwhile, don't let them in your home. You have that right. If they do not have a warrant, and if they show up at your door and claim that they have a warrant, you make sure you read it and it actually says a warrant. Okay, because just because they have a piece of paper that says there's concerns and issues doesn't make it a warrant. Okay, it actually has to have a judge order, and it has to say on there the reasons for that warrant. Okay, that means that they have proof that you are negligent, abusive, or whatever the reason is. Okay, it has to say on that warrant what the reason is. So if they give you the excuse, well, we don't have to tell you, we're here for the safety of the children. Okay, that warrant will say exactly how they were able to get that warrant, because they have to prove to a judge that you're unfit or that there's concerns or issues. Okay, so you need to read that piece of paper when they show up at your doorstep and they say it's a warrant. It may not be a warrant. It may just be a piece of paper that the supervisor gave them and said, go get those kiddos. If it doesn't have a judge signature on it and court work on it, emblem and all that, it ain't a warrant, okay? So make sure what they're claiming, they lie. Don't think they don't lie, okay? They are known for lying. They're known for forging documents, okay? They're known for this. CPS is known. I actually know a supervisor who forged documents, created documents for the courts, claimed that she had a full conversation with a police officer. I asked the family to contact this police officer because I didn't believe it. And sure enough, police officers keep logs of everybody that they talk to when they're on duty, right? They keep logs, they keep records of everything they do, okay? That's what they're supposed to do, okay? And so I didn't believe half of what was being said. And so I said, challenge her on that. She's not expecting you to check in on this, okay? And this lawyer was a very good lawyer, and she did her homework. She contacted this police officer, and he's like, I've never spoke to that supervisor. I've never said any of those things. I don't even know the family, okay? Because she claims all this stuff and that he did this and he did that. He's like, no, I didn't. I've never, ever met this family. I've never heard about this case. I've never spoke to this supervisor ever. Okay? And yet she wrote this whole document, this whole report about this police officer, named him and everything. Okay? And the caseworker refused to write the report because she knew it was a bold-faced lie. Okay? And this caseworker ended up getting fired by this supervisor. So did I. But anyways, we let the judge know what the supervisor had done, and she lied on the stand 3 times. She forged documents. The supervisor was fired. Well, not just the supervisor, but the supervisor, the guardian lineman, all were chewed out. I mean, just the judge was just chewing their butts out. And she goes, well, I agree with Ms. Pennington that this is a grievous, that you should be removed from this case, and fired CPS off this case, Children's Division off this case, and was going to give it to another contract. And they wanted to give it to Great Circle or Cornerstone, which is just another contract, guys. They're the same thing, just another contract. Great Circle and all them, they're CPS, okay? They're just scumbags just like anybody else, okay? So they're just contractors, okay? And so the judge fired Children's Division off this case and ordered that another company take over this case, and ordered them all back in 2 days to let her know which company was going to take over it, and demanded that if I didn't have a contract with that particular company that was taking over it, that I remain as a parent aid company on the case just for that case if I didn't have a contract with them. And so we came back 2 days later, and you know, this supervisor stood up in front of the judge with this cocky attitude. You can't fire us from this. We're contracted. You can't fire us from this case, and we're not stepping down from this case, and told the judge what they were going to do and not do. And the judge was like, yeah, you're right. You are contracted. Yeah, you're right. I can't fire you. But I can demand that you keep Miss Pennington's parenting company on this case. And you know, that supervisor on the way out was like, F the judge, she can't tell me what to do, you're fired. And fired me off of all the other cases that I had in Cass County. And then she actually got a raise. She now is supervisor over Cass County and Johnson County. And so that's what they do. They want people in there to be dishonest, okay? And they give them raises when they're dishonest, okay? So that's an issue for me. Knowing what she did, she should have been fired. She should have been fired. If you're forging documents and you're lying on the stand and you're doing things like that, you should be fired. Who else does that and works a job and does something wrong, don't get fired? Not in CPS. You do something wrong, they give you a raise. They want you to have the guts to do something wrong, okay? They don't fire you. They only fire you if you stand up and do the right thing. And say, no, you can't make me do that. I'm not going to do that. The family doesn't deserve that. And the supervisors are like, yeah, you're going to do it or you're fired. Okay, I guess I'm fired because I'm not going to do that to these families. Okay? I wish they would go to court. I wish these caseworkers, you know, wouldn't give up the fight. But I believe, I haven't been able to talk to a caseworker that's been fired afterwards because they never return my calls. And I think they're not allowed to. I think once they get out of CPS, they must sign documents or something that, like a gag order that keeps them from talking about it. Because why don't we have more caseworkers coming forward about the dishonesty and the corruption that they're doing? You know, I've always wondered that, because I know for a fact, I know of several caseworkers that didn't like and actually quit their job with CPS because of it. And told me several times of the corruption that was going on in there. So my question is, what can we do to be proactive? What can we do? I mean, I would love some ideas, guys. Yes, protesting. Yes, let's protest. Yes, let's get the word out there. Let's start making parents knowledgeable what their rights are, okay? Your constitutional right, okay? You don't have to let anybody in your home. That's your home, okay? You don't have to let people in your home, okay? Unless they have a warrant. Okay, if they have a warrant, then they do have the right to come into your home, okay? If they have an actual warrant, okay? Now, if they do not have a warrant, they are not welcomed in your home. And make sure to let them know that they can leave, okay? And they can't come in, guys, without a warrant. Just because they show up with a police officer doesn't make it legal, okay? The police are called because the case CPS workers know, you know, they have a chance of getting their butts kicked, okay? Showing up at a family's house threatening to take their kids from them, okay? So just know, prepared to fight, prepared. They already, the second they can get your kids, that you're looking at a year of getting your kids back. And your kids are being traumatized for a year. That's their goal. Keep your kid into custody for at least 1 year. And then if you don't do everything that they tell you to do, then they try to terminate your rights. And that's just plain simple wickedness, and it shouldn't happen. Okay, guys? So, I don't want to keep everybody on this morning. I've got to go get my son ready for school. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and I would love some ideas of how we can get the president's attention. I love the fact Miss Connie's doing those postcards, so if you can get some of those postcards, grab some of those postcards, write on there, President Trump, we want accountability for CPS. We want a task force to start investigating these cases that shouldn't be open, that should be closed, and holding those people accountable if we find lies, and start teaching them a lesson for once. I think they should be held accountable. I believe this supervisor who's lied on that one case, I'm pretty sure has lied on other cases. And I think every case that she's ever touched should be investigated. And I believe that there should be a task force to do that. But the problem is these contracts, they investigate themselves. CPS, if you file a complaint, a grievous complaint against them, they investigate themselves. Okay, it's not an outside source investigating them. They try to tell you, oh yeah, it's an outside source. No, it's not. It's CPS investigating CPS. Okay, so that's a bunch of lies. Again, it's not true. And they make, oh yeah, we have nothing to do with DSS. We have nothing. They're liars, full blank liars. Okay, and I can't stand liars. CPS is the biggest corrupt organizations. You know, I had a lot of respect for Great Circle for the longest time, but I have none for them now. They do not have the strength to stand up against wickedness, and I've seen way too much. Cornerstone, I haven't really had much here in Missouri. There's different groups here, but like I said, it's all about the money. It's all about what they can get away with, but now they're starting to put stipulations on. They have to be successful in reunifying families. That is a new rule here in Missouri, that they're supposed to try to reunify, but the goal is within 1 year. And I like the fact that that intensive in-home services contract, which I tried to get, guys, I really did. I worked really hard. I tried to get it, but because I wasn't a very big company and I didn't have all this money, and I didn't have enough money, I didn't have enough assets or anything like that in order to get this contract. In fact, all of the counties that I put in for, Great Circle got. Okay, and Great Circle didn't even put in for them. They put in for one, and they got offered all the ones that I had put in for. And my goal, and we had already done basically intensive in-home services in our parent aid company, because we would actually go in there and help the parents do what they needed to do to get their kids back. So, and that was always our goal, our number one goal. But our number one goal is the children come first. What is best for the child? Okay, that's what's really important, is what is best for the child. Okay, sometimes you have some parents on board doing what they're supposed to, and then other times you don't. Every case is different. No case is all the same. The problem is there's a lot of human error. There's a lot of human feelings, and you've got some CPS workers who are power hungry, who loves to be in power, and if a parent bucks them or disrespects them or yells at them, they have the power to take your visits, and I don't think that should be allowed. I don't think that they should have that power to base it on their feelings, okay? Or to put their opinion in reports. Opinions don't matter, okay? Whether you agree with parents or not, or how they do things or not, opinions don't matter, okay? Opinions, in my book, doesn't belong in a report, okay? Opinions, facts. I want to see facts in reports, not I think, I assume. I want facts. If it's not a fact, then it's a lie, okay? Because it's your assumption, and assumptions are not truths, okay? So parents, make sure that if you go to FST meetings, and also they call them PPRT meetings or the 72-hour hold meetings, don't sign a safety plan. Don't sign anything until you fully read it. And if it says anywhere in that documentation, if CPS or the organization, say you got Great Circle doing it, it says if we deem or find that you are in any way neglectful or abusive, or they word it different safety plans, they word it different. You make sure it doesn't say anything that they can have the right to take custody of your child. They don't have your right, your permission to take custody over your child, period. Then what that basically says, they have the right to go and request terminating of your rights. You don't give them that right. Do not give them that right, okay? And if they tell you, you have to sign this or you won't get visits, that's illegal. That's illegal. They cannot force you to sign your rights over or sign something in order for them to give you visits. That is illegal, okay? And you challenge them on that. You challenge them on that, and you say, okay, well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to cross this out, and I'm going to cross this out. And you get you a black marker, and you cross it out, and you cross this out. And you say, I don't agree with this. It's wrong. I don't agree with this. And you cross it out, and you cross this out, and say, okay, now I sign it. And then when you sign it, say, I signed it under duress. Why? Because you didn't want to sign it, but you wanted to have visit, and you write on there, signed it under duress, told that I had to sign it in order to get visits. I don't agree with what I blacked out, okay? Because you have the right to write on it as much as you want, okay? But the problem is they try to do this number where you have to do it or you don't get visits, okay? They don't give them that power. Don't give them that power. But do it in a sweet, respectful manner. Why? Because then they'll say you're crazy. Oh, we need to get a psych eval. She's crazy. She's all over the place. She's crazy. Don't give them that. Don't fall under their little traps that they like to do. Okay? Don't fall under that. Okay? So don't give in to their little craziness. Okay? I know I'm giving a lot of information out there today. It's kind of all over the place. I apologize. But I am excited. If this is a great opportunity for you guys to get a copy of my first book under Kindle. It's They Meant It for Evil. So go get your copy the next 7 days. Now, if you haven't signed up for Kindle Unlimited, you get it for free. So sign it up. Share it with everybody. I appreciate it. Share it with everybody. That's what I want. I want my story told. I am praying so hard. If I could just get 10 minutes with the president, I think we could get a task force in order. I think the reason things aren't being done is he doesn't know. I think he just plain simply doesn't know. And I think if we can get his ear and let him know, write those postcards, write those letters, let him know we want a task force to investigate all these contracts that are stealing and trafficking our children. We want a task force in every single state. Every state. That way these parents that are being kidnapped, their children being kidnapped, these grandparents that are not being allowed to have their grandkids with them, and being isolated and being traumatized. You know, we want to point the fingers and be all mad at foster homes, okay? But they're only doing what they believe that they're doing right, is helping foster kids, okay? We got to pray for our foster homes. We need foster homes. But we want them in good homes. We don't want them in group homes. We don't want them, because group homes are like prisons, guys. I've been in, let me think. Probably about 4 group homes growing up. They were like prisons, okay? You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to have friends. You have to, it's terrible, okay? It's not a great thing, okay? I'd rather have been, even in the foster homes I was in, I'd rather been in a foster home than in a group home, okay? And so President Trump shutting down these group homes is a good thing, okay? I'd rather have when I was growing up, the group homes I was in, I would have rather been in a foster home. So, I'm just saying. So, guys, let's be proactive, okay? It took one person to get prayer out of schools. One person, one woman, okay? What's it going to take to get CPS under accountability, checks and balances? I'm not sure. Let's brainstorm. Let's get things done and start doing what we need to do. All right? Let's rise up. Tell them enough is enough. Stop taking our children. Stop letting them in your homes. Stop letting them in your homes. Start that out first. Okay? Get your signs on the door. Say this home will be protected. Okay? Make sure you do that, guys. All right? Don't let them in your home, okay? All right, I've got to go, guys. I've got to go get my son ready for school. I'm really proud of him. He's, if you don't know my family, he's severely autistic, but he's the sweetest boy you'll ever meet. I just love my little boy. But anyways, he has to have mommy get him on the bus. He has a routine, and if he doesn't have mommy put him on the bus, he gets really upset. So I have to run and go get him ready for school. God bless you guys. Good luck. And please talk to me. I wish I could have time, John, to talk to you. Unfortunately, you should have come on at the beginning. I would have had a little bit more time, but I have to run now. I will be back tomorrow. I try to be on here by 8:30, so I was running a few minutes late this morning because my undercarriage of my car needed to be fixed. But I'll be back tomorrow about 8:30, 8:45. So if you guys want to talk to me then, that's fine. All right, God bless you guys. Have a great day.